Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about Aquarius relationships. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing off, as far as Aquarius relationships go, well, the first house in astrology is often the paternal grandmother and maternal grandfather. And Aquarius, of course, will fall on the first house cusp in a solar or natal chart. So, for Aquarius. So anyway, one or both people may have an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Aquarius-like characteristics. It can be people that are rather eccentric but considerate, non-conforming, rebellious, sometimes iconoclastic, maybe a little bit unusual, unorthodox, unconventional, and sometimes very ingenious, eclectic, or innovative. Now, also, too, one or both people may be involved in an Aquarius-like profession, such as innovation, invention, working in some kind of environmental career, such as environmental engineer, or even environmentalist. Somebody maybe something connected with computers, electronics, esoteric subjects such as astrology, some other fields, possibly aerospace or astronomy, or even rocket science in some cases. Now, as far as the connection and relationship goes with these people, it can be one where you show a lot of consideration for one another, and where you're pretty much unobtrusive with one another, but very could be one too where you have a lot of expression of new and original ideas and concepts, but one where it might be a little bit more aloof and detached, perhaps, where you don't really feel maybe a strong emotional connection, but maybe even more of a friendship than anything. So anyway, well, next thing up, as far as Aquarius relationships go, well, the third house in astrology represents siblings and cousins, and Aries often falls on the third house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So these people, siblings, cousins, maybe one or more may have an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Aries-like characteristics. It can be people that might be somewhat acerbic, combative, argumentative, disputatious, perhaps very courageous, have a lot of fortitude, but can be confrontational, very outspoken, straightforward, direct, can be rather abrupt, maybe very pioneering, maybe have original thinking, but can also be perhaps a little bit impatient and easily aroused or provoked. So anyway, and also, too, one or more of these people may be in an Aries-like profession, such as welding, working as an EMT, a surgeon, doing something in a sports field, and especially perhaps a combative sports field, such as teaching karate, kickboxing, boxing, mixed martial arts, or wrestling. Doing firefighting, arson investigation, something associated with the head, such as designing helmets. And also, too, as far as the relationship goes with these people, it can be one where really everyone might be somewhat, or most in this group might be somewhat outspoken, direct, straightforward, with one another, where words are not minced, so to speak, but at the same time can be somewhat confrontational, and the relationship and connection can sometimes be contentious and combative, but one where you will stick up for one another when necessary, as there is a lot of courage that can be perhaps connected with this. So anyway, well, next thing up, as far as Aquarius relationships go, well, the fourth house in astrology represents the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, and Taurus often falls on the fourth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So this person may actually be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Taurus-like characteristics, and can be someone that might be rather obdurate, stubborn, obstinate, unyielding, very set in his or her ways. Person that's very persistent, tenacious, has good powers of perseverance, perhaps even endurance, and a lot of patience as well. And someone too that might seem rather stolid, but and may even come across as a little bit boring or monotonous, but nonetheless steady and stable. Now, it could also be this person may be involved in a Taurus-like profession, such as working as a financial advisor, stockbroker, finance in general, banking, cultivation, gardening, something connected with the arts, whether it could be theater or drawing, painting, sculpting, as some examples, and even doing some general mundane work, such as working as a stock clerk. Also, as far as the relationship and connection goes with this person, can be one where you show a lot of loyalty and steadfastness in connection with one another, one that's very stable and steady, and where really reliability might strongly be exemplified and emphasized. But it might be one that can be somewhat monotonous and a little bit dull and boring. But at least, as the saying goes, sometimes no news is good news. Sometimes less excitement might be better in some cases. So anyway, well, next thing up is as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the fifth house in astrology represents children and love romantic relationships. And Gemini often falls on the fifth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. These people, one or more of these people, may have a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Gemini-like characteristics. It can be, this could be people that may be very mercurial, very fickle, very changeable, vacillating, but very talkative and loquacious, being able to talk about a wide divergence of subjects, being very versatile, superficial though perhaps, and also maybe rather restless, and people that can't really seem to sit still for any protracted period of time. Also too, one or more of these people may be in a Gemini-like profession, such as working as a car salesman, doing something with radio, journalism, anything with communication, such as data or satellite communications, writing, broadcasting, doing something in connection with the hands, as Gemini energy can be very dexterous, of course, doing something like air condition or auto or refrigeration mechanics. So anyway, well, the next thing up is as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the sixth house in astrology represents the less dominant parent siblings. So we're looking at aunts and uncles. So, and the zodiac sign Cancer often falls on the sixth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So one or more of these people may be maybe an actual Cancer, sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Cancerian-like characteristics. It can be people that it can be somewhat moody, temperamental, fickle, changeable, very emotional, sensitive to derisive remarks, criticism, and ridicule. People that really might be somewhat introverted, and it could be too that they're very really homebodies as well, but also very protective and like to reminisce about the past for better and for worse. Now, also too, one or more of these people may be in a Cancerian-like profession, such as working in something connected with the home, such as home improvement, renovation, restoration, siding, roofing, involved in some home or family business. It can be someone that works as a historian or a home caregiver, doing restaurant work, working in fast food, something connected with culinary work and cooking. So also too, well, as far as this relationship goes, it can be one where a lot of tenacity is shown and there's a lot of clinging Sometimes it might be for better or for worse. Cancerian energy could be very protective, so it can be one where you show a lot of protection, being very protective of each other. One, two, where there's a lot of strong sensitivity to derisive remarks and criticism and ridicule, but really at the same time, one that's very nurturing and protective as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the seventh house in astrology represents the significant other, marriage partner, and often the maternal grandmother and paternal grandfather. And Leo Leo will fall on the seventh house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So this person or people represented could be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Leo-like characteristics. It can be people that are very proud, dignified, flamboyant, showy, have a lot of presence and charisma, be somewhat ostentatious even, can be a little bit arrogant or egotistical, ones that have certain creativity, creative prowess, and ones too also that may be maybe somewhat domineering and have dominant personalities. So anyway, one or more of these people represented can also be in a Leo-like profession, such as working in a creative field, doing something connected with entertainment, theater, acting, being an actress, doing something designing games, whether it be board games or video games, etc. It could also be someone that works in some kind of amusement place, such as working in an amusement park, working as a cardiologist or cardiac surgeon. So anyway, well, as far as the relationship and connection goes with one or more of these people, it can be one where you show a lot of pride in. It can be one, too, where there can be a lot of extravagance, where you might spend a lot of money on these people and vice versa. One, two, where a lot of generosity is expressed and shown both ways, or it could be shown through monetary means and through your time and devotion as well, where a lot of loyalty is shown, but at the same time, two, it can be one, I mean, Leo energy can be very proud as well, and don't, and remember that pride can sometimes come before fall, so it's something to look at as far as this connection goes, but it's one where you should express probably to a lot of extroversion and gregariousness. So anyway, well, the next thing up is as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the 8th house in astrology represents intimate sexual relationships, and Virgo often falls on the 8th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So one or more of these people represented by this house, they could be an actual Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Virgo-like characteristics, and can be people that can be somewhat shy, ones that are very people organized, very meticulous in dressing, somewhat persnickety, judgmental, critical, pedantic, could be very wordy people that sometimes very verbose and really strongly about analysis, very analytical, but very service oriented and health conscious as well, perhaps. Now, also too, one or more of these people may be involved in a Virgo-like profession, such as working as a professional organizer, something connected with extrapolation of data, financial analysts, working in some kind of health or nutrition field, working as a dietitian or nutritionist, working as a doctor, perhaps doing something that requires a lot of attention to detail, such as detailing like on vehicles, doing computer programming, data entry. So anyway, well, also too, as far as the connection and relationship goes with one or more of these people, it can be one where really really, I mean, Virgo can be shy energy, where there might be certain shyness, and there could also be one too where it can be a lot of judgmental and critical energy, unfortunately, but often it might just simply be constructive criticism, and one where you show a lot of discretion to sexually, often using protection more so than the average person or people perhaps. It can be one too where there can be even compulsive, almost a borderline compulsive, like complaining, but it can also be one where there's a lot of analysis going on as well, and perhaps enjoyment of things of an intellectual and analytical nature. So anyway, and also one where you might be strongly of service to one another, but never offering really in a way where it's officious or unwanted. So anyway, next thing up as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the ninth house in astrology represents in-laws and grandchildren, and Libra often falls on the ninth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So one or more of these people may be an actual Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Libra-like characteristics. Can be people that are very charming, diplomatic, refined, cultured, people that are very balanced, very equitable, fair-minded, but at the same time may abhor injustice, and people that are also very charming and are really strongly about intellectual sociability and bouncing ideas off each other. Now, the thing about this too is that one or more of these people may be involved in a Libra-like profession, such as working as a diplomat, being in human resources, something connected with art, such as painting, drawing, sculpting. Could be somebody in acting, working as an actress, doing something connected with the legal field, such as working as a judge, bailiff, attorney, paralegal, lawyer, court reporter, something that may be strongly associated with the law, and or working in arbitration somehow or negotiation. So anyway, well, as far as the relationship and connection goes with these people, it can be one where you express a lot of tact and diplomacy with each other and articulate things very carefully in a way where you're not going to hurt one's feelings. But at the same time, one where injustice can be abhorrent. If something is not fair, likely someone will call the other out about it very quickly, faster as opposed to later. So anyway, well, the next thing up is as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the 10th house in astrology represents the dominant parent, which is often the father. And Scorpio will often fall on the 10th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So this person may be someone that has a Scorpio sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embodies Scorpio-like characteristics, and can be someone that may be somewhat surreptitious, sneaky, maybe a little bit mischievous, someone that's very resourceful and resilient, bounces back from adversity very strongly, has very strong willpower, but yet very willful and resolute, intensely emotional, really someone that's very deep and penetrating and very incisive. Now also too, it could be somebody that may be involved in a Scorpio-like profession, such as embalming, working as a coroner, mortician, sex therapist, doing something with the occult, supernatural, working in astrology, working as a psychologist or psychiatrist, doing something connected with transformation, such as recycling or rebuilding vehicles. So anyway, the next thing up is as far as the connection and relationship goes with this person, it can be one that's very intense and powerful and could have a very transforming effect on you, but at the same time can sometimes be destructive as well, as Scorpio energy can be. But really, it can be one too where, I mean, where there might be certain upheavals and power struggles as well, and one where really you go strongly beyond subterfuge and superficiality, as it could be very hard to lie and prevaricate as far as this connection goes into this person. So, and generally speaking. So anyway, next thing up, as far as Aquarius relationships go. Well, the 11th house in astrology represents friends and stepchildren. And Sagittarius often falls on the 11th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So it can be one or more of these people may have a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, and can be people that are very buoyant, expansive, optimistic, exuberant, jocular, jovial, very straightforward and direct, sometimes blunt to the point of demoralizing others. One where that veritable truth, so to speak, is spoken, and when words are not minced. One where it can be very, I mean, where it could be someone, people that might be very sports-minded and very outdoorsy. Now, it could also be one or more of these people may be involved in a Sagittarius-like profession. It could be, excuse me, it could be somebody that might be involved in sports, maybe sometimes even archery, doing something with horses, working in a horse stable, working as a translator or interpreter, doing something in connection with importing and exporting, doing something perhaps connected with publishing, working as a professor at a college university, something associated with travel, such as working as a travel agent, a pilot, or a cruise director. And as far as the connection and relationship goes with one or more of these people, it can be one where a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm is shown, and where maybe you're involved with a lot of outdoor activities together. At the same time, one that's very blunt, straightforward, and direct, where words are not minced, so to speak. And sometimes things could be said that are so blunt to the point of demoralizing one another, but one where the connection is such where generally people aren't going to be vindictive, vengeful, or grudge holding, where there can be very forgive and forget kind of a philosophy. So anyway, last but not least, well, as far as Aquarius relationships go, the 12th house in astrology represents, I mean, it's going to be the dominant parent's siblings. So we're talking about aunts and uncles, and Capricorn often will fall on the 12th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Aquarius. So it could either be one or more of these people may be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Capricorn-like characteristics. It can be people that might come across as somewhat cold, callous, undemonstrative, but very serious, responsible, and really very consistent. People that might seem somewhat melancholy, but really can be people also that are very orthodox and conventional, and ones that are very dependable as well, very businesslike. So, and anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as this goes, well, one or more of these people may be involved in a Capricorn like professions, such as working in business, such as business consulting or administration, dentistry, doing something even general mundane work, such as even working as like a stock clerk, doing something with information technology. It can even be working in a position of authority, such as a manager, working as a landlord. So, and just in business in general. Now, anyway, as far as the connection and relationship goes with one or more of these people, it can be one that's very consistent, and where you show a lot of seriousness, and really the whimsical, capricious side of people may not come out very strongly, but it's one, as I stated before, that could be very consistent, where it's very reliable, and one where really where it's very serious, and where really you show a lot of responsibility, toward one another, and where maybe you see these people as maybe more, mature even for their age, and even, older beyond their years, because there could be a strong sense of seriousness and responsibility connected with them. But at the same time, Capricorn energy can be somewhat restricting and limiting. So you might feel there might be some kind of restriction and limitation in connection with this relationship. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Aquarius relationships. Stay tuned next time, where I will be talking about Pisces relationships. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.